Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I know it's been quite a long while since my very last video, but I've been very busy procrastinating what to build. Well, not really. I've been kind of busy with a lot of other things, so I figured it was time that I could try and get back into my YouTube tutorials, and I'm quite surprised when I did kind of come back. My subscriber base is a lot higher than when I had left, and I'm glad that you guys are, liking some of the builds I've been creating. I mean, it's kind of motivated me a little bit to do more. So thank you for that. Thank you for 80. And with that being said, I do intend to try and I want to have a goal of at least 2 videos a week, 2 tutorials, whether they be, hefty tutorials for more detailed builds or more simplistic tutorials like this one. This one I wanted to keep a little more simplistic. So it's like a rustic style home. I shared this on Instagram, or at least a version of it. It's a little different, not quite the same. And it kind of got a fairly good reception as to, yes, please build it. So I wanted to give this one a shot and kind of break away from my traditional medieval style. So, with that all said, without further ado, let's begin. So for this build, I decided to lay out the materials that we will be using for, the overall design. Since I have been asked a fair amount of times to, could you please just have the layout? So for those who have asked, here you go. And with that being said, we can go ahead and start designing some of the house. I went ahead and created this layout. If you want to pause the video and take a look, this is just so I don't quite forget everything as I'm rebuilding it for you guys. And yeah, so the first thing we can do is create the foundation, which would be just to raise this up again. So just by creating another layer on top of everything, because you would have a 3 gap, then a 5 gap, then a 3 gap, a 1, another 5, and then a 1, 3, 1, 1. Now I'm going to join this a little differently. I'm going to create this space here. So you would have a space, 3 logs, space. But I'm not going to continue the foundation on this one spot, because this will be the deck. This will be a completely different sort of design. And we can go ahead and create that now. So you'll be needing your spruce wood staircases and your spruce wood planks. So to create this, I'm going to fill in just inside the logs with spruce wood planks. But then I'm going to cut out here and then bring the spruce wood log all the way to the edge. I'm going to cut here, put 2 more, and I'm going to cut here again, put 2 more. Next, I'm going to use my spruce wood staircases, and then I'm just going to simply place them on both sides like this. Now, this was just to kind of give it a different, like a little more depth underneath. You could use half slabs, but I opted not to. And then one more thing for the deck, we can go ahead and just put a cobblestone staircase for now. Now, as a pet peeve of mine, I'm going to go ahead and fill in this dirt. I'll be right back. So once you've finished placing the foundation, this is ideally what you should have when you're done. So the next thing we can go ahead and do is raise our posts. So the deck posts are not much, but are one shorter than the rest of the building as well as the front here. So what we're going to do is bring these up 4 times. Those 2, and then we're going to bring these 2 up 4 times. And then the other ones can all be brought up 5 more times. So when you've brought your posts all up to the relative height, we're now going to create a peaked roof for all of them. So we're just going to bridge them all together into a frame, into a triangle. So this is what you should have when you're finished peeking off the rooftops. The one that will be kind of a problem for some people, it was kind of a problem for me, was this one post here. But we're going to nullify that by dragging a post across, then connecting it one here and one there. And then we're going to do the same thing going back across and all around the building at this height, except for this big area. When you get to the back side of the building, or the big side of the building, we're going to start the logs where they're connected into the posts on each side, and then we're going to go up one each side, following the same pattern above, leaving a one space gap in between each. And then before we're finished framing, we got one last spot. We're just going to take some oak posts and bring them up to the top just to kind of give the entrance an appeal. So now we can begin rafting the rooftop. So with the rooftop rafting, we're going to go ahead and take the 3 birch materials, the stairs, the planks, and the half slabs. The planks are going to go nice and simply put right in the open gaps here, and then they have a 1 spot over here. So we're going to go up 1, 2, and 3. Now we're not going to do it on this side. Actually, you know what? We can go ahead and just fill this in with birch. So we'll just cover that whole slot in. Next, we're going to be using our birchwood staircases. So ideally what we're going to do here is we're going to connect the birchwood staircases like this, and then we're going to bridge them together, kind of like a take on Jamsy's type of rooftop rafting, and it does make placing the staircases a little simpler. So I'm going to do that all the way around on each of the oak logs, and I'll be right back. So when you get to this point of the structure, it's a little different because now where this rooftop is slightly lower, we're going to connect it a little bit differently. So I'm going to take this middle one and drag it till it lines up with the closest, or the first one it meets, and I'm going to just connect those together. And the same goes for the descending planks, and we're just going to connect them all right up, and that's how that should look. And then we have one more piece. We're just going to take our oak wood logs and drag them across like that. And then that would complete our rooftop rafting. So now we can go ahead and actually start putting the simple part of the roof together. So we'll be needing our spruce wood stairs and some cobblestone staircases. So we're going to take the spruce wood staircases and just, fill in along the top like this. That's it. So now that you have this kind of boxy, bland looking type of structure, we're going to go ahead and add the overhang. The overhang will give it, a slight bit more depth. So for the overhang, all I did was I just put it where the parts of the structure are just beneath the spruce wood staircases. And then I followed along them going back up, kind of squaring it off on the sides. That's all I did, and we're going to do that on all parts of the building. Now, you're probably wondering with some spots, because some of the parts of the building don't really match up appropriately. So this is one of them. To fix this, I'm just going to add some oak wood logs, 3 going up top like this, and then on top of each of the oak wood logs, I'm just going to put 1 cobblestone staircase like that. Now, there's not much we can do for this, so I'm just going to put a cobblestone staircase there, and then I'm going to take 2 half slabs or a brick or a block. You could put a cobble block there just to kind of connect the 2 up like that. You could even have it kind of more fluidly flow into it like so. And then for the tips of the building, just to kind of give it that last bit of depth, I'm going to use these cobblestone half slabs, and I'm just going to drag them across the top of the structure just to, give it a little more of a peak and some, texture breaking, so it's not all, wood on the top. Now that we have that much done, we can go ahead and get some more of the finer details, which will be we need some stone brick staircases and some spruce wood half slabs. So the stone brick staircases are going to kind of essentially follow a pattern. So underneath here and here, and then skipping one, the same thing, doing this throughout the building. And the stone brick staircases, except for the deck area, are typically going to be a 1 space gap in between like this. So this is essentially how it would look, just kind of spacing it out. And then in between some of these gaps, I'm just going to put spruce wood half slabs in between just to break up the texturing a little bit more. So when you've gone ahead and finished that part of the build, we can add in some more of these spruce wood staircases like this, but upside down in the areas that do not have the stone brick staircases. This is just to kind of break up the color texture a bit more and add a little different types of depth to the building, not too much. And then over here, it's important that the staircases are facing in like that, or it will look a little cluttered with the overhang of the window. So that pretty much takes care of the rooftop of the structure. We can go ahead and start detailing the bottom, which will require some oak wood logs. And I'm going to just bring them around like this, kind of keeping that one space gap in between each, following this pattern all the way around. Once the logs are placed, we're going to start covering up more of the cobble by using some stone brick staircases, just filling in the one space gaps in between each. And then once all of the stone bricks are placed, we can go ahead and add some spruce wood staircases on top of each of the up-facing logs. So now that we have some progress made, we can go ahead and pick up a couple more materials. I'm going to take the green stained clay, the spruce wood planks, the spruce wood stairs, the wooden trapdoors, and I'm going to grab the door now. So for the first bit, I'm going to take the spruce wood staircase, kind of cover up the top of the door, and then I'm just going to shove the door in there now. And then I'm going to fill in the rest of the building with the green stained clay. Just fill in all the walls. So now you should pretty much just have a big green box or whatever color you decide to work with. So I guess we can go ahead and carve in our windows. So the windows are, I'm just going to keep it kind of simplistic. I'm going to create the windows by putting some wooden planks here, and then I'm going to have a spruce windowsill like that, and I'm just going to carve out the middle of each of the structure, or each of the walls, and doing that same design, except for this one. This one's just one taller, and I'm going to do that all the way around. So once you've finished carving out the windows, we're going to go ahead and add in the trapdoors, just to kind of throw in the detail now, or get some of the shutters out of the way. And then once you've placed the window shutters, there's a few more places that can have a little more lattice work like that. And I'm going to put that right here. And then again, I'm going to cover up the birch, which I already did. Never mind. I can't believe I already forgot I did that. So the next thing we can go ahead and do, I guess, would be to take the andesite and the oak wood fence. I'm just going to shove a brick down in there, and I'm just going to bring the fence all the way up like that. And that will take care of that little spot. I'm going to grab some glass panes, and I'm going to fill in all of the windows. So just for some last minor details, I mean, the house is actually pretty close to done, save for the interior. We're going to need the cobblestone staircases, the spruce wood staircases, and the spruce wood slabs. Now, for this big window is the only one that's going to have a fairly large overhang or awning, just to kind of give it a little more protrusion depth. So we're going to take the cobblestone staircase like that, 2 spruce wood staircases, and then 3 spruce wood slabs, and just kind of have them go across the top at an angle. Then I'm going to grab a ladder, and I'm just going to kind of neatly put it in there, and then one, and actually that's it. So one like so. Then the other window, where it's a little smaller, it can still have a little bit of that kind of weird overhang. So I'm going to put 2 half slabs like that, then a staircase like so. And that will take care of the window spaces. And to finish up above the rooftop, I mean the door where the entrance is, we're going to need the birchwood planks and stone brick stairs. Now for this, I decided to add in a very vague amount of depth. So I'm going to break the birchwood half slabs, and I'm going to replace them with birchwood planks. Then underneath, I'm going to go cobble in a pattern again, creating that same pattern. And then I'm going to need, of course, the trapdoors to create the lattice work just to hide that strong white color that the birch kind of has with it. And then that is it for the exterior of the structure. Now you guys are probably, at least the people who've been asking me, not going to like this, but I'm going to leave the interior for you guys. You can make a lot of room in here if you want to get rid of the rafters and add a different type of coloring. I just did that to, it makes the block placing of the staircases much, much easier. So that's the only reason why I put those in. So you can go ahead and add different colors and whatnot just to kind of give your home, make it more cozy for you. But that pretty much takes care of everything. I mean, I just wanted to do a simpler home. And I feel like I should probably do a couple more here and there. They're, easier to build for people who might want to build in survival mode versus creative mode all the time. As I know firsthand, someone who always is in creative mode, that it can get boring. So it's nice to have the challenge of building something kind of nice, depending on your opinion, that you accomplish through survival mode versus, having everything already free given to you. And again, thank you guys for the support that you've given me since the starting of the channel pretty much. I went away for a little while and came back to much of my surprise, a growing community here, and I'm glad that you guys are liking what I'm creating. So please hit that like button or even subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. It's all more motivation just to kind of keep me going and making more videos. And as always, until next time, see you later.